I prefer to be in the hotel, you know, with Draghetta. Is very nice to cooperate in Naples.
Yeah. No, well, the background story to that was Anna Maria and the Naples MEP organization invited us to a cafe called Europe. Europe.
Martha is there. I think we should.
Here and ready.
Okay, good-o. Okay. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Martha.
Hello. Can you all hear me?
Yes. Oh, there she is with the Sphinx. Yes.
Nice to meet you all. Warm welcome here from the Belvedere Gardens. My name is Martha. And yes, how much do you know already about what will be happening now?
I think I've well, anyway, it depends who was there when we spoke, but just
okay.
You tell them.
Excellent. And so let me see. I think now I'm back again, right? Can you all hear me? So we are live here from the Belvedere Gardens, which is a special, new and great thing. I think it's a wonderful day, beautiful weather, only bits of snow in the morning, but now the sun is out right here. And yeah, what is the Sphinx looking at? What do you think? Does anyone recognize the building in the background? You can also use the chat if you like to, since we're on Zoom. If you like to interact a bit with me, make this guided tour as interactive as possible. I'll see your chat messages. Yeah, I'm on my smartphone here, so every now and then I will also tap on the screen to switch the cameras to show you more. Oh, I can see you're just enjoying some Mannerschnitten. Oh, Parliament is a suggestion. Yes, the Sphinx might lead you that way. That's right. That's the Parliament has a Palace Athena in front of it. But no, let me show you a little bit more. We have an enormous Baroque palace here right behind me called the Belvedere Palace. And it's housing a wonderful art collection nowadays. The Austrian art is exhibited there. And that's just a quick overview of our short program we prepared for you. We'll do a short overview of the gardens here, some background stories of the building, the owner, and then I'll go inside and show you the most famous painting. That is the Kiss by Gustav Klimt, so Art Nouveau style, and that's the second part of our guided tour. And yeah, now let me just show you a bit of the view here. Thank you. Isn't this marvelous? Famous view, already depicted 250 years ago by a painter called Canaletto, or also known as Bellotto, and it's in the UNESCO World Cultural Heritage here from Vienna, this view from the Belvedere Gardens. Isn't it fantastic? Can you recognize anything? You like to tap into the chat. You see the city center of Vienna. Is it possible for you to make out some of the buildings?
Well, there's one I told you about on the manor. I don't know if you can zoom a little into the distance.
Yeah, I'll try to. Let me just give you a moment. Yeah, it's a bit cold out here, so it seems as the screen, but I'll try to zoom in a bit. Okay. Seems not to be possible at the moment, sorry. Let's see if I can go a bit higher here. And this, so we have the main cathedral right in the city center. It's St. Stephen's Cathedral. And then there are also the green domes of the churches, St. Peter's, and even the Hofburg Palace, so the former Habsburg residence, is there in the distance. Again, trying to switch the screen here to make it a bit larger for you. Just take it back to my slide for a sec. Yeah, seems to.
No, but Martha, doesn't matter. It's yeah. We don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you perhaps can make out at the bottom of here, the palace, both of them were owned by famous, actually, yeah, Europe famous gentleman, a field marshal, general of war, Prince Eugene of Savoy. Yeah, he was the owner of the two buildings. And let me just quickly show you what Prince Eugene looked like. Brought the picture here. Here we go. Can you see him?
Yes, we can.
There he is, as in typical Baroque with the wig, and he's pointing out to the city of Belgrade. So this is 1717, one of the last large battles against the Ottomans. So he's at the height of his success and victory. And actually the Ottoman wars, the siege started in the very background, or the relief of Vienna, in the hills, from the hills in the very background. Yeah, the foothills of the Alps were very this united army, actually, from many different European countries, led by the Polish king and the Duke of Lorraine, liberated Vienna in 1683. And only afterwards, it was safe for the Viennese aristocracy to build beautiful summer homes like these two here outside the walls, the fortifications of Vienna. So the Belvedere Palaces are really two of the finest examples we have here in Vienna. Schönbrunn was another one, of course. And yeah, so just another short view here. And I'll give you a bit of the history of the buildings as well. After Prince Eugene's death, his heiress sold the palaces to Maria Theresa. And the Habsburgs then used them already as art galleries back in the late 1700s. And then about 100 years later, the Fine Arts Museum was built along the Ring Boulevard. All the collections were moved there, and the palace behind me was empty by then. It was then in the late 1880s used by the heir of the throne to the Habsburg Empire, so Franz Joseph's heir of the throne. And I dare to ask the question now, because I know you have a historian among you. Who was the heir of the throne at that time? 1890s. Any guesses? Anyone? Franz Joseph's son, Rudolf, had committed suicide, so he was not there anymore. And then there was a new one. He became famous, actually. A very sad reason for becoming famous, because he was shot dead, assassinated in 1914 in Sarajevo.
So it's Franz Ferdinand.
It's Franz Ferdinand, exactly.
Yeah.
Franz Ferdinand used this palace then as his residence, as his workplace. And The lower Belvedere was by then already used as an art gallery. And then from 1918 on, also the upper Belvedere was an art gallery until today. Yeah, so we have the finest examples of Austrian art inside. Now, let me give you a last overview here of the surroundings. Come with me a bit closer, and then we have one more topic I'd like to show you here in the gardens before I go inside. And this is this balcony. So we travel into the 20th century. 1955 was an important year for Austria. After 10 years, allies being here, administering the country in 55, in May, 15th of May. Finally, the state treaty was signed here at the Belvedere. Behind this balcony, thousands of people had come to be part of this moment, waiting here in the gardens. And I would like to show you some pictures of that day. Just quickly switching to the photos here. So you can see the balcony again in a moment. There it is, with the foreign ministers outside. Leopold Fiegel was there for Austria, and it was kind of a spontaneous moment to go outside on the balcony and show the signed treaty to the Austrians. It was the foreign ministers, Pinet for France, then Mr. Dulles and Mr. Macmillan and Molotov, of course. So just one more view here of them on the balcony. And then I'll already walk towards the building here, and I'll go inside. Yes, please.
Martha, do you mind if I come in? Maybe because in our conversations we were talking about the third man and the days of well, the 10 years Vienna and Austria.
Yes.
Was occupied by the Allied forces, separated into 4 zones, and
yes.
So what you've just shown us, this the balcony and the Austrian state treaty ending 10 years of occupation, and how important this was to the people of Austria to finally be rid of foreign soldiers, and now being able to take things into their own hands. And the foreign minister Fiegel, apparently, although I've been told he didn't say anything, came onto the balcony and said, "Austria is free. Österreich ist frei."
Yeah.
And it's and the gardens were full of people. The people of Vienna knew that something big was happening, and they flocked to the palace, waiting for a sign. And when Fiegel, of course, came out onto the balcony and the flags were flying, and to great cheers, of course. And since 1955, Austria has been an independent. There's a picture, fantastic. Well, people were expecting something big to happen, and it was a momentous day for Austrian history. And you can see St. Stephen's Cathedral there in the background.
Yeah,
the silhouettes,
exactly.
maybe just a little bit better there.
So now than on the video.
Yeah. So as far as Austrian history went, Austria joined the European Union in 1995. So you've got 40 years since Austria's independence and the establishment of the Second Republic. Until Austria joined the European Union, the problem, of course, was Austria's neutrality. Austria's closer, well, at the time, I mean, to many, if you pop the question, well, is Prague or Vienna further in the east? And I dare say some of you will say, well, actually Prague has to be further east, but it's not. It's actually Vienna. You know, and this is still part of our Cold War thinking or geography we've got, but it's Central Europe. And I think at the moment, we've got Barbara from Prague with us. We will probably argue what is the heart of Europe, whether it is Prague or Vienna or Bratislava, and I think Slovenia too. Valeria is with us as well. She would also say, well, Slovenia, of course, is the heart of Europe, but it's something we all share. And obviously, it's the emergence of Central Europe rather than Eastern and Western Europe that has taken place since the Iron Curtain came down in 1989.
Right. Yeah. Important dates and
yeah. But it couldn't be a better place.
Important steps.
Yeah.
For Austria.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Wonderful. So perhaps I'll just let you watch a short video now that we prepared about the gardens, and I'll go inside and see you again in front of the kids.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So just to show you, I'll be up there in the building in a moment with you, walking inside now. And I'll see you in a bit. Now we're in the backyard of Prince Eugene's Upper Belvedere Palace. And we have this wonderful view to the wrought iron gate. Let's imagine we're arriving by carriage. We're invited to a ball at the princely palace. And yeah, this view through the gate is famous, and it's also depicted on one of the Austrian euro coins. If you have some around, you'll find out the €1 is St. Stephen's Cathedral, and the 20 cents coin, here I have it, is the view through the gate to the Upper Belvedere. Now let's come inside and have another view to this beautiful Baroque palace, a masterpiece. It's one of its kind monuments here in Vienna, and it's a very fine example of Baroque architecture. The elements we find here is this pond, the water surface in front of the palace, where it's reflected until infinity, and the facade is coming back and front, with the roofs that are really special. We have the domes on the sides, the cupolas that look like Ottoman soldier tents, and we also have the big tent in the center with the two spires going up, which is the tent of the Sultan. Now you might perhaps ask, what a strange thing, Prince Eugene was fighting against the Ottomans, and then he has their symbols on his palace. Yes, it was a sign of victory, of him as the one who won the battles, defeated them, and is now able to playfully decorate his home with his enemies' symbols. Now let's walk a little closer, get a better view of this magnificent palace, showing us the job of the prince, with all the decoration with arms and armor. Architect was Lucas von Hildebrand, and he was the favorite architect, main architect for Prince Eugene. In the side building of Belvedere Palace, the Austrian composer Anton Bruckner was granted a home for the last years of his life. And we'll play some Bruckner music for you now, as we meet again in a moment in front of Gustav Klimt's most famous painting, The Kiss. And here we are. Can you hear me again?
Yes, we can. And you've got to wear the you've got to wear the mask. Presume you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I have to wear the mask inside. Now showing you this masterpiece of Gustav Klimt. And talking about masks, did you all prepare yours? We'll need them at the end of our tour here. And let's now just for a moment admire this wonderful painting. So from 1908, Gustav Klimt's time of the golden period, actually the last one of these years when he used gold so much in his paintings. And he called it also Lovers. Yeah? And The Kiss is a later title. And you can see the couple here on a meadow, flower bed, but it's not the whole ground area. It ends, as you can see. And it's where the woman has her feet. She is kneeling, the male figure bending the head over her, and her face is facing us. If you have a closer look, you might also be able to see that her shape is flowers and round shapes, colorful, and the male figure has these stronger black, gold, gray colors in rectangular shapes. There was a guess already at the beginning, like when it was first exhibited, that this might be Gustav Klimt himself with his lifelong partner. They never married, Emilia Fleurge. There's rumors, he never said yes, this is what it was, but many people of the time already guessed that it might have been her. Has anyone been here already, seen the original?
I don't know.
Well,
I
you
have,
don't know.
yes.
You have.
Sinisha, maybe you?
Others?
You're in Vienna quite a bit.
I was there a few times, and I was in Belvedere Castle, so I saw this.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Wonderful.
Jeff as well. Yeah.
Not in Vienna. There was, when Liverpool was capital of culture in 2008, there was a Klimt exhibition at the Tate Gallery in Liverpool.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, great, great. So I'll just take the picture to me now and turn around, and then I'll have the kids here in the background. We can still see it and talk about the painting a little more. Gustav Klimt, let me just show you what he looked like. Might be a surprise for some of you. He depicted the most elegant ladies of society here in Vienna. But yeah, he himself, can you see him here with his cat? Yeah, was perhaps, yeah, whatever. This is Gustav Klimt, Vienna born, and Viennese through and through. And he went to the Academy of Applied Arts here in Vienna, and then founded a small company with his brother and a friend. They were asked to paint in the main new Ring Street buildings. And then he founded his own group of artists. The Secession movement was founded. I'll just show you another picture here of Klimt and his friend. Josef Hoffmann was there, Koloman Moser as well. And just a moment, here they are. As you can perhaps see, they were a fun group of artists. Klimt is sitting there in his chair, and they were the revolutionary youngsters, yeah, the wild ones. They separated from the main group and club of artists here in Vienna and founded their own association. And to make it clear that this was something new and different, they called it the Secession. Yeah, we have the Secession building here in Vienna, which is also rather an unusual building. They had it built as their new exhibition hall for modern art, and it still looks unusual, doesn't it? The Viennese, we can say, were quite shocked at the time. So this Art Nouveau movement here in Vienna was not something unique. They were part of a European movement. They tried to have as much inspiration as possible from other European countries here. They had a Van Gogh exhibit. They bought paintings from Hodler, for example, from Segantini, from the Swiss artists, from the Belgian artists. Klimt was very much inspired by Monet, for example, and Munch. So it was really a movement where they tried to get in as much inspiration from other parts as possible. And so the Klimts kind of developed a really unique style. You cannot really say that he had students who did the same thing or followed him. It was really his very special decorative art, and the kiss is for sure one of the best examples here. He was actually working on this embrace on other paintings before. The Beethoven frieze is one of the most famous, where we also have a famous embrace by Gustav Klimt. And this was kind of the climax then. Yeah, here it was a perfection for him. And he exhibited in 1908 at the Kunstschau, which was an exhibition of modern art here in Vienna. He also gave room to the very young, the wildest of the wild here in Vienna, to Oskar Kokoschka, for example. The next year it was Egon Schiele who was allowed to participate. And even if their art was already very, very different, just give you a quick idea if these names are new to you. We have Schiele and Kokoschka self-portraits here for you. This is Egon Schiele, and you see this is very already early expressionism, and Oskar Kokoschka, also a very different direction, but Klimt was happy to give this young generation a stage and help them also with his connections. Just come back here. Perhaps before we go into the Q&A part, I'll talk a little bit about Emilia Fleurge, so the woman that is perhaps on the painting. She was not only one of the muses of Gustav Klimt. We know he had a lot of them, and even many children were the offsprings of these relationships. And Emilia Fleurge was much more to him. Yeah, she was a designer, one of the first female fashion designers in Europe. She went to Paris to get the latest fashion inputs and the best cloth she could get, and then adapted it for the Viennese high society. And famous women went to her salon that she had together with her sisters, the sisters Fleurge, and Klimt also designed for her. Yeah, so he sometimes did the ornaments that she used as prints on her dresses. As I said before, there was this idea or doubt perhaps if she was on the paintings. I'll show you a last series of photographs here and some, sorry, just go this way here. All right. Now here you can see Gustav Klimt and Emilia Fleurge. You can see she's a little taller than him. And this was the new fashion. Yeah, this was her style, the very loose reform dress, as they called it. And Klimt also liked it for painting. And then we have the two of them here. One of her creations, this beautiful black and white dress. And this was a woman who was also depicted by Klimt. This is Margaret Stoneborough Wittgenstein, and she also bought the dresses from Emilia Fleurge. Actually, it's quite interesting that Mrs. Wittgenstein was not happy with her Klimt paintings. Yeah, but he had his own ideas, and when the painting was finished the way he liked it, this was it. Same thing happened with Emilia Fleurge. There he depicts her. She always said she looks fishy in the dress, and she didn't like it very much. But I think it's a masterpiece. I don't know what you think, but I think it's really, really great. So this just a bit of an insight of the life of Gustav Klimt, people who were important to him. Now, do you have any questions? Is there anything we should talk about, you'd like to know more?
Well, Martha, if I may just add one or two things. I think one needs to generally understand. I mean, here are a few paintings and the ones you've showed us, but that at the turn of the century, on the one hand, people were already feeling something big is coming to an end. Others were seeing it as a beginning for something very new. And by breaking away from well, centuries, even millennia of architectural style, of lifestyle, and so shoes were not supposed to look like shoes anymore, and furniture was designed completely different, all the way to your cutlery, to a bookshelf, to well, anything you a chandelier, which all is encompassed in this Art Nouveau or Jugendstil and Wiener Werkstatt idea that well, no sphere of life is going to stay the same. So you can see there are two big antagonistic movements happening. On the one hand, hanging on to the old, and here's an old emperor who has just lost his son, who has committed suicide. There is no heir to the throne. Franz Ferdinand, the heir, is married to a lady who is not properly of aristocratic descent. So actually their children would not be entitled to become the future heirs of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So you could say a real mess. And of course, the situation in the various parts of the empire made it very, very difficult to move forward, and at the same time, well, the world was opening up to new ideas, and things seemed irreversible. One couldn't return back. And of course, it all led to the unfortunate, well, unfortunate, I don't know, but the end of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And sadly, in the end, with the First World War and the Second World War and a new, well, world order. And for Austria to emerge at the very end as a little country, well, in the heart of Europe, having been one of the big players in world history, well, just shows a development that maybe started at the turn of the century, and it's the new versus the old, and what Europe also has turned into, and Europe as a global player. I sometimes find it quite bemusing to think that small European countries, really, if you look at their size on the map, ruled the world, and are now working together in the European Union or in Europe. We're still not global players, and well, I don't know whether well, I think we have a rightful place, and we should, but how things have changed within a little over 100 years.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And what you mentioned about the tensions, or the two kind of sides that we had here in Vienna, this was really strong. Yeah, the monarchy, the conservative aristocracy here in Vienna, the big monuments along the Ring Boulevard and all the historicism styles. And then there is a young generation, there are artists, and there are also families, most of them Jewish families, bourgeois families, who had the money and obviously also this wider horizon, or more open thinking, to support these new movements that were too extreme for Franz Ferdinand, for example. Yeah, he was not approving the Klimt style or the Otto Wagner monuments and buildings we have here in Vienna. But since there was a more liberal part of society also, it was possible for them to be here, to become stronger, to become famous. But there were tensions, enormous tensions, that you could feel at the time, and that you can also see until today if you compare buildings that were built at the exact same time, but paintings that were painted at the exact same time and look completely different. And of course, 1918 is the year when many things change. Also in the artists' life here in Vienna, in the art life here for the city, because it's the year when Gustav Klimt dies, age 57, I think, on a heart attack or stroke. Then the Spanish flu is everywhere, and Egon Schiele dies very young, only 28 years old. Koloman Moser dies in the same year. Otto Wagner dies in the same year. So it's really also kind of a big change happening in the life of the arts here in Vienna.
Yes, I suppose also the emergence of socialism and well, ideas of architectural styles that provide council housing for everyone, a completely sort of egalitarian approach to well, making modern amenities accessible to everyone and not only to the bourgeoisie, is maybe what distinguishes Austria after 1918. And maybe just a little story for all of you. I've had the pleasure and maybe also the honor of meeting members of the Habsburgs. I mean, I met Karl, and I had a meeting with Otto. Otto, the grandchild of Franz Joseph, he was the president of the Pan-European movement, and they had a big celebration in my school. Nobody knew about this celebration. So I was working late in the school. I was on my way home, dashing down the steps, and an old gentleman literally sort of fighting his way up the steps, and he looks up and I see him. It is Otto von Habsburg. And I'm really shocked. I mean, what's this man doing here at 7 o'clock in the evening? And I said, you know, can I help you? And he said, yes, I've been invited to deliver a speech, and I'm so happy to be in the school of my old friend Coudenhove Kalergi. Finally, I get to see the place where he went to school. And I accompanied him to the assembly hall where the lecture was taking place. And I sat in the back listening to, well, an almost 90-year-old talk about, well, his life and Europe, and really impressive. But equally to think that no one in my school dared say that he was going to be there that evening. And also my headmistress, whenever Habsburg was mentioned, one didn't want anything to do with the Habsburgs. It was like a taboo. And I think, no idea, but I think it's the forward-looking, where we're not looking into the past and what could have been and who we were, but who we are now, and so he's just one of us, and no one special. But as a historian, of course, meeting well, the offspring of a dynasty that controlled and was very influential in Central and Southeast Europe for 800 years, is impressive. And anyway, so much to be said about 1918 and how people tried to move away from the past, and even to this day, dealing with the Habsburgs or including them. And I mean, we've seen some of the countries in southeastern Europe emerge, considering whether, I know Bulgaria, for instance, bringing back the king and turning him into a prime minister. Romania, the same thing. I don't know about Serbia and the king of Yugoslavia, whether there was ever the idea of letting the king of Serbia return and hold office.
And he lives in Belgrade now, the prince,
Yeah.
the crown prince. But
Yeah.
I think the don't support.
We had a quite different situation because the last Bulgarian king, who was minor when he was expelled from the country in 1944, he returned in the year 2000 and became a prime minister.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
So,
you know. Yeah. Okay. And Victor. Okay, no, Victor's no longer with us. But anyway,
I'm here.
You are.
I'm here. Yeah. In Romania, our king died 2 years ago, and his daughter is the king in this moment. They live in Romania. They have their palace and their castles. The state give back everything, and I hope in the future we will have a monarchy. I don't like it republic.
Okay. That's Victor for you. Yeah. Yeah, no, but it's, you know, how countries after the wars and period of well, maybe foreign influence or occupation, how they've dealt with their, or how they are dealing with their past, and it's quite interesting. Anyway, sorry, Martha.
No, all fine.
Yeah.
Maybe I can add that I also had the pleasure to meet one of the Habsburg descendants. He lives in Mexico now, and he was he came to Austria with a group traveling, and I had the pleasure to walk through Stoneborough Palace with him. And then, of course, I integrated him into the tour, and he was happy to share a bit. And then he told us that his father was born in Stoneborough Palace, and then that he had been there when his grandmother, the late Empress Sita, had died, and they came to
for the funeral.
For the funeral,
yeah.
They came to check the black hearse, the funeral carriage that is in the museum now, and they used it for the last time for her funeral.
Yeah.
So that was quite interesting, and he was very, very nice man. And just being part of the group, happy to share a bit of his history and his family's history.
Can I ask you, do you know, is that the branch that then went to Luxembourg and now lives in Luxembourg? Because
I think they still live in Mexico.
In Mexico,
and it's, I think it was the branch of Felix Habsburg, the brother of Otto. Who moved to Mexico and who stayed there because he was so shocked about how the family was treated from the side of the Austrian Republic.
Is Mona, are you still there?
Yeah.
No,
yes, I sometimes turn off the video because I have my husband with me as well to enjoy.
A few years ago when we had the session in Luxembourg, it was the session
in Vienna.
No. The session in the Netherlands on the Luxembourg delegation was
Margaret.
Was the Archduke of Austria, Archduchess, sorry, and who told me that her, I think, father had they grew up in Mexico and then came back to Europe looking for a place to live, and Luxembourg seemed the right place, and I don't know whether she went to your school or
yes, that was Margareta. That was Margareta von Habsburg. That was in the Luxembourgish delegation, but she finished our school and has gone, I don't know where, to university. But
I remember we took a photo with her, you know, the Austrian delegation and the Archduchess. It was funny. Anyway, sorry. And now we're talking about the Habsburgs and how and dealing with history and the legacy and the future, and but it sums up also nicely where Austria sees itself or would like to see itself today. And well, the fact that the United Nations has a headquarters in Vienna certainly helped to keep Austria well safe before the Iron Curtain came down. That was one of the smartest moves to well internationalize Vienna and provide very intelligent protection from well, an invasion that one thought would happen any day, and of course joining the European Union as a neutral country with Sweden and Finland and Sweden, Finland, at the time they were called the Fans, Finland, Austria, Norway and Sweden. Norway in the end had a referendum and did not join. But this is 25 years ago, last year, has clearly shaped also, well, how Austria conceives of itself as part of a community and being stronger, working together with others, and an approach I can only share. Yeah.
Now, shall we, is there anything else perhaps we can add here, or are there any questions just to kind of build the bridge back to where we are here, or should we do our photo together?
Oh yes.
What
Oh
do you
yeah.
think?
Oh yeah. 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 No,
but I'm still happy to answer questions if there are some, as you like.
Can you maybe tell us now? A few years ago, this might interest everyone. A very different painting was used by Austria and Vienna as a sort of promotion picture. You know, come to Vienna, see Art Nouveau paintings, but they didn't use the kiss, but they used a very different painting. They used the painting of, now then, Adele? No, what was it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have it here. Yeah. I'll just share it.
And it's quite interesting how, because of course, so this, the Goldene Adele, the golden Adele. I mean, look at the gold and the ornamentation, and so Austria and Vienna was using this painting to promote, to market well, Art Nouveau and so forth, right. until maybe Martha, you want to tell the story.
Yeah, so the painting was here in the same gallery, in the Belvedere Gallery, and some people also said it was the Austrian Mona Lisa. Yeah, just to give you a bit of the idea of the importance of the painting. Yes, but the painting was one of the paintings that was actually not really belonging to the museum, or it was at least a case of questioning very much of what had happened to the painting through the times of the Nazis here in Vienna. It was owned by a Jewish family, by the Bloch-Bauers, and it's a complicated case. It's really, if you look into the details, it's a very complicated case, because Mrs. Bloch-Bauer, she had donated it to this gallery, but it was actually owned not by her, but for her husband. And he, in the end, had to flee, to leave the country, and had to sell the painting. And it was for little money, of course. So it's one of the big restitution cases that we had here in Austria. And in the end, the heiress of Adele, her niece, she lived in the US. Mrs. Altmann, she wanted to, she claimed the painting. Yeah, after she was kind of informed by a journalist that it was here and that it was actually from her family. She went to a lawyer and claimed the painting, and it was a long, big case, her fighting for the painting to get it back. At the beginning, it seems that she was absolutely open to simply officially get it back and then donate it again, or just leave it here in Austria. But since it was so complicated with the Republic and many doors were closed in front of her face, she in the end really fought for getting it back. And it was also the film made about it, with Helen Mirren. Perhaps some of you have seen it. And this was also the time when also there were kind of manifestations and that Austrians wanted to keep the painting and so on. It went a bit public, we could say.
Martha, I'm
Yes,
afraid some of our colleagues have to move on. And
sure.
Now we'll put into the chat, please go watch the film
Yes.
with Helen Mirren, and I'll put it into the chat a little later on, but so we get that photo in with the kiss and everyone wearing the mask before you leave. If you could all open your cameras, we'll go on to gallery, Galerie Ansicht. Here we are.
And I will.
And
shall
then
I go out because I'm sorry, shall I go out because I don't have the mask?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Then you're just there. It doesn't matter.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't have the mask either. See, I mean, you could just what? Yeah, no, I don't have mine. I don't have one. I've given it's, you know, Stuart's there. Hello. Did you get the mask? Hello. Can't hear you. Oh, great to see you, Stuart. I can't hear you. You've got to turn the mic on.
Apologies, I was late. I had a class this morning.
Oh, lovely to see you. Did you get the parcel?
No.
No, you didn't.
Where did you send it?
School.
Oh no, I'm not. Haven't been in.
Okay, right.
I haven't got the mask neither because Paul Schumacher has the mask for Luxembourg.
Never mind. Some of you do, some of you don't. But we're going to get this screenshot in. Eliana and Sinisha, if you could turn on your webcam. Victor, we'd like to see you too. This is like a family shot. Okay, a screenshot. MEP Vienna and the mask. Okay, great. Sinisha, I think he's going to get the mask. Oh, that's a good idea. Well, I should get one too. No.
It's Corona, MEP, so we wear the mask.
Wait a bit.
Yeah, and all the others smile. Smile with a kiss.
I don't know. Yeah. Glad. Sinisha, are you still there? Victor? Well, they may have gone. Okay.
Yes, Gottfried.
Can you turn your cam on, your video camera? We're taking a photo, a screenshot.
Ah.
Yeah, family. Yeah. Well, if you don't have the mask, but people have got to go, we're taking the picture now.
I don't have the mask in this moment.
Doesn't matter. Just show you, if you could, just show yourself. That's the main thing. And,
okay.
And Sinisha,
one second.
too.
One second.
Okay. Second over.
Just a moment. I am after the vaccine now.
I thought that was yesterday. Okay, but we just need to see you. That's the main thing. That's it, Victor. Excellent. See, I've got MEP on my mask now. That's good enough. Martha, are you or Sebastian? Are you taking the screenshot? Who's taking the screenshot?
Yes, we're taking the screenshot. Don't worry.
Who
So,
said? Who's that?
ready? Yes, Martha and Sebastian, we are taking a screenshot.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
Ready?
Yes. 1, 2, 3. Kiss.
Kiss, kiss, kiss. This kiss for the whole world.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So it's done.
It's done. Lovely.
It's done.
Yes, job done. It's thank you so much, Martha and Sebastian.
Thank
Big
you.
round of applause.
You're very
You are,
welcome.
yeah, you know, you are a genius. You've made it happen, and
Yeah,
no,
we are.
really, what an exciting moment for all of us to share this and live, and look at them leaving the building. You've got Belvedere there. Yeah, naughty. No, because, you know, they didn't want us to take photos here, there, and it was, anyway, but we made it. Thank you.
We
Thank you
made
so
it.
much.
So have a wonderful day.
And Martha, can you send the screenshot in an email, and
Yes, we'll send you the
maybe
right away.
as a WhatsApp as well, then I can share it more
As a
easily.
WhatsApp as well.
Okay, Martha,
We'll do
thank you
that
so
right.
much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Sebastian.
Bye
Vielen
bye.
Dank. Bye bye.
Auf
Grüß euch.
Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Wiedersehen.